was just explaining how I don't really know how to do this, but we're here now. We're here now. All right. This is my third live. We're going to do it a little different this time. This is going to be a masterclass on a specific topic, and then afterwards, you can ask questions. So we're live now. Share it with people. Share it with your friends. And yeah, should be able to hear now. Can you hear now, hot hypnotist? I know there's a delay, so should be able to hear it now. There's a little delay. But on my end, I think it's all good. Let me know if still you can't hear in like a minute or two. Or let me know if you can't hear in a minute. All right. Yes, okay. We're good. Thank you, hot hypnotist. All right, let's get straight into it. As I said, I was going to start at 7 sharp. It's now 7:01, so people had a minute to get it popping. All right. Change yourself, not reality. As I said, this is going to be a masterclass. I'm going to teach you something, and then you can ask all the questions that you want to ask in the chat. This is a mirror. A mirror reflects what you put in front of it. I want to move this camera a bit. There we go. A mirror reflects what you put in front of it, unless you're this guy, a vampire. Reality, physical reality, your mental reality, is actually a mirror. What do I mean by this? Whatever you place in front of reality will be reflected back to you. So the whole point of this class is, how do we place what we desire in front of reality so we can get what we desire out of reality? We do this through our perceptions. Reality is simply a reflection of your mind. And I'm going to explain why to you. Your eyes, okay, send a signal to your brain, and your brain creates a picture of what it thinks it's seeing. This is why, if you guys remember, years ago, there was that whole thing that went viral about the dress being yellow or blue, or the dress being gold or blue, and everyone had different things to say. They're like, the dress is gold, the dress is blue, because everyone's perceptions are slightly different. And that's a simple example of how that operates. People, even memory, they remember things differently. You might tell a story and you might say, we drove a red car. And somebody might say, no, the car was black. They're perceiving things differently because your brain is just giving you a picture of what it thinks it sees. No two people see the same reflected reality. Good evening, Million Erica. So no two people see the same reflected reality. And this is because everyone has different perceptions. So this guy is a bodybuilder guy. When he looks in the mirror, he should see a bodybuilder guy. He should see his physique. He should see how he looks. But instead, he sees this. He's underweight. He's not big enough. He's not getting gains. His perception is different. This girl here is a model. When she looks in the mirror, she should see herself as a model. Instead, she sees herself as a tiny bit pudgy, maybe. You do this as well. You create perceptions in the mind that are not necessarily true, especially when it comes to abundance, earning money, earning what you want out of life. When it comes to that, you have all these perceptions, but you have so much of what you need and you just don't know. Right now, you have technology. You have a phone or a laptop that you're watching this on. Plenty of people don't have those. Plenty of people can't afford them. You might have somewhere to live. Most people have somewhere to live, a roof over their head, somewhere they can stay and sleep. A lot of people. You got food to eat because you're still alive. You have clean water to drink because you're still alive. You got some money, possibly. You got a job, or you got a little bit of money, or somebody's taking care of you with money. Maybe you live with your parents and your parents are paying for things. Who knows? You even can have entertainment. You can hop on YouTube and you can entertain yourself with stuff. So many people cannot do these things. So when you look in the mirror, you should see somebody who has everything they need. But you might see this. You don't have enough. You're begging for things. You want things to come to you. You're too poor. I don't have it. This is what you're seeing in the mirror, although you're this individual, right? Remember, your brain can only show you what it thinks it sees. And your mind will only show you what you perceive. We're going to talk about perception. So how do we go from thinking like this to thinking like this? Abundantly. But before we get to that, I know the stream is a tiny bit delayed, but I have a question for you, and I want you to answer this question. You can answer it in the chat with a number. Who is likely to attract more money? On the left, number 1 on the left, number 2 on the right. And just comment with the number 1 or 2 who you think is more likely to earn more money. 1 or 2. And I'll wait a bit because it's a tiny bit delayed. All right. Might be a lot a bit delayed. Geez. 1 or 2. Do, 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 do. 1 or 2. Who is more likely to attract more money? This might be that you guys are typing and the stream is just slow, but it's okay. I will see them when they pop up. Ah, there we go. Shanika the Sage. 1. Oh, oops. Oops. Sorry. 1. Perfect. Molly said 1. Beastmo said 1. Have you learned NLP? I have learned NLP from a fantastic NLP teacher who learned directly from Richard Bandler, who was the creator of NLP. So yes, I am quite versed in NLP and I love it a lot. Number 1. Arts Pipeline said number 1. Number 1. Great. Good stuff. We got some smart people here. If you said number 1, you're likely incredibly correct. Why is this? Well, in the Bible, there is a principle called the Matthew principle. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. Basically, this means the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Right? You've heard this before. One person is in a mindset that pulls in money, and another person is in a mindset of not thinking they have enough and begging for more. The person who is in the mentality, the mindset, the perception of having enough, of having, right, more than they need, will continue to have more than they need. If we act like person on the right, if you're in this unfortunate circumstance, it's going to be very difficult for you to pull things into your life if you have to beg for them. Begging is demonstrating that you do not have, and money is attracted to people who already have some money, or at least are in the mentality of pulling it in, right? So if you want to more easily attract things you desire in your life, see yourself as already having them. And I'm going to help you do this because I know you've heard many teachers in the manifestation space, in the spiritual space, in the reality creation space. I know you've heard many people say this, but they have a very difficult time explaining how to do it. So in this training, I'm going to show you how you can do it. And it's very simple. It's very simple. But how, Seth? Well, I'm going to show you. We need to use the fourth hermetic law of the universe, polarity. In your mind, you perceive things. Remember, I said perception. You perceive things as negative or positive in the mind. Once again, remember, it's a perception. It's not necessarily true. It's in the mind. Now, Polarity, negative and positive, is actually a spectrum. And at the furthest points of the spectrum, the same things occur. So if you are in the maximum levels of cold, you are going to freeze and you're gone. If you're in the maximum levels of heat, you're going to melt and you're gone. The result is the same thing. At the maximum levels of polarity, you get the same outcome. So the people who are maximally depressed can't change their lives, and the people who are maximally happy cannot change their lives. There's nothing to change when they're maximally happy. These things happen at the same time. Light does not exist without darkness. Darkness does not exist without light. You can only perceive one or the other if the other is present. So you can only perceive light if there is darkness. You can only perceive darkness if there is light. They happen at the same time. If you experience lack, you must also experience abundance at the same time, because lack cannot exist without abundance present. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a simple way to start changing your perceptions of life. Just ask the opposite question to your mental statement. So I'm going to give you an example of this. Quick example. So on the left side, we have statement. On the right side, we have question. Oops. Cool. So if you have a statement, I'm broke. This is a statement. When you say I am, you are saying God is, right? When Moses goes to the burning bush and he says, who should I say sent me? Say, I am that I am. You're saying God is. I'm broke. Well, that's not a great thing to say about yourself. But you can counteract this by asking a simple question. When you ask questions, you get better answers, right? I'm broke. Where do I have wealth? Because you will not be broke without experience wealth in another place. If all you knew was poverty, you would not understand anything to do with wealth. So where do you have wealth? Do you have family? Do you have somewhere to live? Do you have food to eat? Do you have technology to learn and entertain yourself? Where do you have wealth? Do you know a lot of things? Have you read a lot of books? Could you teach those things? Is there wealth in your mind? Where is your wealth? And here's a very simple thing for you to understand that you are wealthy. Internally, instantly, when you're born, how much would you sell your heart for? Answer it. How much would you sell your heart for? I know the stream's a little delayed, so I'm going to see it after, but hit me with a number in there. How much would you sell your heart for? 500 million, 600 million, a billion, 2 billion. How much would you sell your heart for? What about your eyesight? How much would you sell your eyesight for? What about your ability to speak? What about your brain? How much would you sell it for? There is no price on them for most people, which already demonstrates a level of wealth already within you. Billions upon billions upon billions, uncountable trillions of dollars within you. There's no number, Arts Pipeline said. Priceless, ultimate wealth, right? Priceless within you. Okay? You're born with it. And when you understand this, it's going to be way easier to import things into your life because you're already wealthy when you start to change your mind and understand the perception that you can have on life. When you can change your perception to I'm broke, where do I have wealth? Well, I wouldn't trade my life. My heart is priceless. My eyesight is priceless. My brain is priceless. Think about it. I'm lonely. There's a loneliness epidemic happening within the world. People have difficulty with relationships. People are alone. Where do you have community? There's community right here, right now. I don't know how many people are on the stream. How many people are on the stream right now? 11 people on the stream currently. There's 11 people here speaking. You're not alone. Where in your life do you have community? Where in your life do you have people around you? As you can see, these are all perception shifters. Where do you have community? And some people When you ask them these questions, they don't want to answer them. And I'll tell you why they don't want to answer them. They don't want to answer these questions and actually dig into their mind to answer them because where they are currently and what they think currently serves them. You will not pick a decision, right? You cannot have a decision. You will not make a decision without seeing more benefits than drawbacks. So the people who refuse to answer these sorts of questions, they see more benefits in staying the same. I can't break through that. If you see more benefits of staying the same, then you're going to stay the same. It's not until you see more drawbacks of staying the same will you change and actually dig into your mind and answer the questions. Sometimes I've seen people, I've asked them certain questions and they just leave. I've had two people, they're like, I can't do it. Because they're so attached to the story that they're telling themselves and it's beneficial to them. And if it's beneficial to you, more power to you. I just won't be able to help you, right? So, next statement. I'm depressed. This is a common thing. Now you hear people are depressed. What can you be grateful for? I'm depressed. What can I be grateful for? My mother called me the other day, and my mother was diagnosed with depression, had to take pills, etc., etc. She called me the other day. She's like, Seth, I'm depressed. I go, okay, Mom, let's pretend that's real. Okay. What do you have to be grateful for? She's like, what do you mean? What do I have to be grateful for? I'm not depressed. I don't know. There's nothing to be grateful for. I'm like, did you go out in the garden today and garden? Did you plant your plants? Because my mom loves to garden. She's like, yeah, I did. I was in the sun and I planted. I'm like, okay. Did you eat something today? You had something to eat? Yeah, I had something to eat. What time did you wake up? I woke up at 11 a.m. Remember when you used to have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready for work and get us ready for school? You had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You remember that? Now you woke up at 11 a.m. Isn't that interesting? What else you do today? You watch some TV? Yeah, I watched some TV at 2 o'clock in the day. Oh, you used to be at work at 2 o'clock in the day, Mom. Oh yeah, I did used to be at work at 2 o'clock in the day. And steadily, I just start demonstrating to her all the things that she perceives as beneficial throughout the day, simply through one day, throughout the day. And she's like, you know what, Seth, I feel better. It's all perception. Reality is a mirror, guys. It's a mirror. Moving on. I procrastinate. This is a big one. Big one, especially for people who want to change their lives when you know what to do, but you simply just don't do it. Where in life do you take action? Because you do take action. You will not procrastinate without taking action elsewhere in your life. So where do you take action? Do you wake up and go to work? Do you go to the gym? What do you do? Right? What do you take action on? Even waiting to hop onto this stream to learn something was taking action. Clicking when I sent the link out and you click in to check it out. That's taking action to change your life. Where do you take action? Find the instances in your life where you do this, because you do. There is no trait that you do not have. I procrastinate too. I procrastinate on the things I don't care about. I procrastinate on the things I don't value. If you don't know your values, I think my value finder is in the description of this. After the stream, go check it out if you haven't done it. It's free. It will demonstrate to you the things that you actually care about. And you'll notice the things that you actually care about. You just simply take action on spontaneously. You're inspired. You just do them, right? Procrastination often happens when you're injected with other people's values and they're telling you what you should do. Whenever you hear the word should, understand that someone is projecting their values onto you. Even me. I say should, just understand I'm projecting a value. Whether that resonates with you or doesn't, that's up to you. But if you procrastinate, find where you take action. RTP lay in the building. What's up? Okay. One more. I'm a failure. I've heard this so many times. I'm a failure. I'm not good at anything. I can't do anything. Like other people just are lucky. I can't do it. When have you succeeded? When have you succeeded in life? You will not experience failure without having succeeded somewhere else in your life. Were you able to get a job? That's a form of success. You succeeded in your life. Have you graduated school? Have you dated somebody? Right? Have you sold something in your life? What have you accomplished? Where have you had success? To understand, you're not a failure. It just feels like whatever you're aiming to do right now is possibly not where you want it to be yet, but that doesn't mean you're a failure. That means you're working towards what it is you want, what it is you desire. Where have you had success? Because it's there. Y'all with me? Now, I'm going to give you guys some specific perceptions around money because I like to talk about money. I like to talk about business. So I'm going to give you some specific money perceptions. And you'd be surprised. Most of what you want money for, you already have. And I'm going to show you why that is. And remember, to those who have, more will be given. You just have to understand you have it. You just have to know you have it. Most of what you desire, you already have. So when was the last time you didn't have somewhere to live? I've been close to homeless before. Very close to homeless once in my life, right? Sleeping on a basement floor, bouncing to people's houses, bouncing to family's house, all kind of craziness. Very close. Had to sleep in a hotel on Halloween night one year because some crazy stuff happened and we ran over to a hotel. We were there for 2 days until we figured that we could go somewhere out of town. A family member just happened to have a house that they were house sitting 2 hours out of town, and we went there, and it was just madness, right? But I have somewhere to live now. Do you have somewhere to live? Do you have somewhere to rest your head? Have you had something to eat? Do you have things to eat in general? Have you not had some entertainment in the past? You can hop on YouTube, you can hop on Netflix, you can entertain yourself. Entertainment's a luxury, guys. Entertainment is a luxury. Some people have no entertainment. All they do is work continually, constantly, right? They wake up, work, home, eat, bed, work, home, eat, bed. That's what they do. Do you not have technology? You all have technology. You're watching this. Technology is a gift. Technology is a luxury. We just think it's not. We just think it's not. I need you to understand that most of you watching this stream right now are living better than the Queen of England did about 200 years ago. Living better than her. All right? When was the last time you didn't have the ability to learn? None of you can say no to that because you're learning right now. All right? Perceptions. Most of these things that I mentioned here, right? Having somewhere to live, having something to eat, some entertainment, technology, the ability to learn, the ability to earn, the ability to do things with your life, the ability to have freedom and to speak and to put your thoughts into the world. It's a level of security. This is usually what people want money for. It's a level of security. But if you look at your life, I'm pretty sure 99% of the people on this stream already have these things. You already have security. It just feels like you don't. Because you might be in survival mode. And I made a video on this. I think it's called In 36 Minutes, You Will Learn How to End Survival Mode and Finally Attract Money. You only perceive that you're in survival mode. You were okay yesterday. You're okay today. I can hypothesize, because, I come from an engineering background, a little bit of science. I can hypothesize that you will likely be okay tomorrow. You've been okay all these years. If I've been black my entire life, I'm going to assume I'll probably be black tomorrow. If I've been okay my whole life and I'm okay right now, I'll probably be okay tomorrow. Once again, that's another perception. Do you have these things? This is security. People want money to get security, but you already have security. And if you understand this, you will more easily be able to attract the money to you. Your frequency will be one of already having security, already having abundance. Then you will start to see more opportunities to earn due to your reticular activation system. Whatever your mind is geared to, you will start finding opportunities for. You will start seeing in the world. I drive a Jaguar F-Pace R Sport before Jaguar rebranded and everything. I never used to see that car on the road. Now I see it every day. And you've probably experienced this as well, because my mind is already calibrated for it. So when you calibrate your mind to understand, I already have security, I already have the things of abundance, now I can attract more abundance. I've already done it. I've already done it. And I'm wealthy. Remember, how much would you sell your heart for, your eyesight for, your limbs? You're already wealthy. If you want, and remember, if you want to more easily attract the things you desire in life, see yourself as already having them. And I just demonstrated, most of you watching this probably already have them. Okay? Now I'm going to share with you guys some common money misperceptions, and then we're going to get into Q&A if you guys have any questions. The chat's very quiet, so I assume y'all are listening, which might be a good thing, you know? So I'm going to give you some common money misperceptions. Remember, perceptions are just things that live in the mind that are negative or positive. They are not real. You have assigned a charge to them. And if you watch a bunch of my other videos, I talk about charge all the time. Charged thoughts. Oh, I think this is negative. Is it really negative? Where's the positive in it? Oh, I think this is all upside and entirely fantasy. Is it? Where are some of the drawbacks? Let's balance this out. Let's get enlightened. When you smash together, okay, a negatively charged electron on an atom and a positively charged proton on an atom, when you smash them together, you get gamma rays and you get light and you become enlightened. So all these perceptions that you have of negativity, if you just see the upside to them, then boom, you're going to cancel out the charge. All these fantasies you have, if you start seeing a little downside and start balancing that out, you're going to become more enlightened. And this is not some crazy mad process. It's not some crazy mad process that you need to go through. You already have done it. You have enlightened yourself many, 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 many times. And you don't even feel any way about it because it's not charged. An example of this that I always give this example. When you were younger, it may have been difficult for you to learn how to tie your shoe. And you're frustrated and it's negative. Oh, I can't tie my shoes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then maybe you tied it one time. You're like, whoa, elated, amazing, fantastic. I tied my shoe, but then it gets untied and you struggle to tie it again. And it's a negative swing. It's a negative problem. Now you've learned how to tie your shoe and you don't care about it at all. You know what you're actually feeling when you can tie your shoe? Gratitude. You're grateful you can tie your shoe. So grateful that you don't even notice. This is the thing about gratitude. People try to get you to be almost incredibly conscious of gratitude. But amazing aspects of gratitude happen when you don't even notice anymore, when it's normal. Tie your shoe, you don't feel nothing. You're grateful because you're enlightened. All right, common money misperceptions. I'm broke. Well, I've said this one before. Where do you have abundance? We talked about that one. I can't sell. So this is business related because I talk about business. You know, I help people expand their businesses using the laws of the universe. So people come to me and they're like, I can't sell, Seth. I hate selling. I can't sell. I can't do it. No, it's bad. When have you exchanged something valuable for money? For many of you, you have exchanged your time, which is valuable, for money. You have sold something already. If you've gotten a job, you've had to sell yourself on getting that job, your resume, your skills, whatever it is, you had to sell yourself on getting that job. If any of you have a spouse, if any of you have ever gotten laid in your life, you have sold that other person on you. You have already sold in your life. But you're like, oh no, I can't sell. You already done it. What do you mean you can't? You just might have to get a little better at it, but you can do it. Don't tell me you can't do it. You already did it. Right? Once again, perception shifts. All you need to do to have reality change what's in the mirror is to change how you look at it, is to change your perception of it. Money's hard to get. I hear this one all the time, and it's pouted by people online. It's pouted by people online because they want you to think they worked harder than they may have. And some people pride themselves on working hard. If pride is a vector for you in terms of that, they pride themselves on their hard work, right? And they'll tell you, I worked hard, I worked hard, I worked hard. But does that serve you to believe? For some people, it does serve them because they find fulfillment out of hard work. But if you find hard work distasteful, then you need another way to look at the work involved in changing your life. And for me, and I teach this to a lot of people, is I've done harder things than earn money. I have done harder things than earn money. Okay. And so have you. I've been through a lot of craziness in my life. I might not get into it. I didn't die. Almost died in the hospital at 5 years old as a kid. Been robbed at gunpoint, all kind of stuff has happened in my life. Somebody tried to kill me in my own studio. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say on the stream. So maybe that word's not allowed, but whatever. So you've done harder things than earn money. Way harder. I think even getting in a relationship is harder than earning money, but that's just my perception. If I see it as easy, it's going to be easier to do. I teach people to make content and stuff like that, and they think it's hard. And I'm like, well, what would you rather do? Turn on your camera or lift bricks all day? What's easier? Perception. I'm not lucky. This is a big one. I'm not lucky. You are lucky from existing. Simply your existence is a demonstration of luck. Billions of other people could have been born, yet you're here. I'm here. Billions of other people, When you were conceived, it could have been anyone else, but it was you. And you have the nerve to consider yourself unlucky? You are one in billions chance. That's tougher odds than the lottery. And you're not lucky. What? Madness. It's madness. You have to be evil to be rich. Whoo, bruv. Remember I said, you will not take an action unless you see more benefits than drawbacks. So if you see getting rich as a drawback, as evil, you'll never get rich. You'll never earn more money. You'll never attract money. Why would something that you consider evil and you hate come to you? Why would I par with somebody who considers me evil and hates me? I might because I know how to dispel those charges, but it's probably not a good idea in general. You got to change your perception of money. What good has money done for the world? What, bruv? Okay, Renaissance said it's a 1 in 400 trillion chance of you being born, and y'all are worried about the lottery. You already won the greatest lottery in the universe. In the universe, okay? Being born. But what good has money done for the world? Have you given money to a homeless person and they were able to buy some food with it, buy a sandwich? That's good. That money is done for the world. You've been able to utilize money and import things into your life. You pay for internet. You're able to watch this stream because of money. What good has money done for the world? It's not all evil. If anything is doom and gloom or boom and bust, it's not true. This is how the masses think. They are polarized individuals. It's either doom and gloom. Oh my God, everything's going to get destroyed. Everything is bad. AI is taking over everything and everyone's going to die. Oh my gosh, no. Or, oh my goodness, AI is the second coming of God. And it's so intelligent, more intelligent than us. And it's going to change the world forever. And blah, blah. It's doom and gloom, boom and bust. It's not true. It never is. It's a polarized perception. Oh, I didn't highlight the one above this, but we're looking at people like me don't get money, right? I meant to highlight it, but that's the one we're on. People like me don't get money. And you know what's crazy? Me, growing up as a black man and being a black man, I hear this a lot from the black community. People like me don't get money. It's harder for me as a black person to get money. This is not a perception that serves you. I don't care what evidence you've seen for it in your life. It's not a perception that serves you. So who are people who are like you who are rich? Who are they? I just saw something the other day. I think Forbes just published a list of top 10 black billionaires, I think, right? Billionaires. Who is like you who has gotten rich? Who has come from similar circumstances as you, right? People who are in poverty, or people who are adopted, or people who didn't have their parents, or people who are abused, all this type of stuff. Who has been in a situation like yours and made it and is rich and wealthy? It's evidence that it's possible. It's evidence that it's true. They change their perceptions. Who like you is rich? Because people like you get money. Next, the economy isn't good. I hear this a lot right now. Physical realm, economy, problematic. Who got rich no matter the conditions? Who got rich no matter the conditions? Look at certain companies who manage to continue to earn and continue to grow despite economic downturns. Coca-Cola is one of them. Coca-Cola sells the product that people want. If you sell something that people continually want, continually need, yeah, you might have a little dip during an economic downturn, but what always happens is something I call the hermetic dip. All right. And Seth Godin, who's a marketer, shares same name as me. Seth Godin has a book called The Dip, where basically you start something new and you're really excited and you're on this high and you get a little success, and then vroom, it goes down and you realize, oh man, this is kind of tough and I'm in a valley of despair right now and this is a dark time. But when you pass through that, you have boom, massive upswing. That's actually an esoteric hermetic principle of rhythm. When you go down, you must come up. So when the market goes down, when the economy goes down, it will come back up even more powerfully. So when you make it through that dip and you don't give up, the upside is huge. The upside is huge. And a lot of people, when they start business, they can't handle that downturn. I'm native. Know how many rich native Canadians there are? I'm not sure about that. But the economy, if it dips down, it will be going back up. And despite the conditions, you can make something happen. You can make something happen. I don't have the skills. I don't know how to do it. Well, where can you learn the skills? Where can you learn the skills? YouTube exists. Most of what I've learned have come from conversations, books, and YouTube. You see this live stream right here? I learned how to do it on YouTube. I learned how to light my place on YouTube. Where can I get the skills I need? I learned sales on free YouTube for a while until I could afford to pay somebody to teach me better sales techniques, right? Where can you learn the skills you need? And that is that. That is perceptions. Remember, reality is a mirror. Now, any questions? That is the masterclass. That was 40 minutes. Wow. I didn't know it would be that long. But now, any questions you guys have, it doesn't have to be about what I spoke about. It could be about anything. It could be anything to do with reality creation, metaphysics, esoteric concepts, whatever, business, money, abundance, whatever it is you're dealing with, clearing charges, which is a giant thing, perceptions in the mind. Let me know. I am here. And thank y'all who have been here. If you got any questions, they're going to stream in a little bit later because I think there's a 2-minute delay on my thing on YouTube. Queen Bee said, I'm going to make it happen. Good. I think there was a 1 or 2 questions earlier. We learned who is my teacher for NLP. He doesn't want to be known. He doesn't want to be known. He's a guy of the shadows. He's somebody, if you know him, you know him. He doesn't want to be known. He has no online presence. He doesn't want to be seen. Make a different decision on belief. Yep. Gratitude. Boom. How do you stop getting in your own way? And I use the same universal laws for something physical like martial arts. Yes. Okay. How do you stop getting in your own way? Well, it depends on what exactly it is that you're trying to accomplish. So what tends to happen with people is they have these very wide branching, amorphic ideas of what's happening in their life. So they're like, I'm getting in my own way. Well, getting in your own way in terms of what? What is it that you're trying to do? So let's say, okay, I'm getting in my own way of earning money. Okay. What is required for you to earn more money? What do you need to do? Are you going to start a business? Okay. How do you start a business? And as you break it down further and further into the actual actions, you will notice how much simpler it is instead of looking at this big concept of I'm getting in my own way. What's the small action you can take? And then another action, another action, another action. You got to break down these vast ideas, because getting in your own way could be anything. You might not be able to wake up in the morning. You're getting in your own way, right? You might have a false sense of your value, and that's getting in your way. You got to have an idea of what these things are. So I try and get people very specific, because simplicity is the way of God. If you guys have seen my videos and when I draw my diagram, the peak of the spiritual plane. So we live in a spiritual, mental, and physical world. The peak of the spiritual plane is the simplest point of existence. So the simpler you can make things, the easier they are to get. The easier they are to get done. So chunk it down and figure out exactly what it is you're aiming to do. So for me with working out, right? With working out, I had a lot of things that got in my way. A lot of things that got in my way. And to this day, I still don't like working out, but I do it. One of them was, I don't want to get in my car and go to the gym. Okay, so what do I do to mitigate that? I'll get weights at home. Okay. I don't want to do these huge, extensive hour-long workouts. What can I do and still get results? Let me look it up. What can I do in 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Because I got stuff to do. What can I do in 20 minutes or 30 minutes? And you start getting out of your own way. Now, another aspect of this is a deeper thing to do with charges. A lot of the time it's fear. But when it comes to fear and dispelling fear, it usually comes from something way, way back in your childhood. And it's something I work with people on. So it's like I would need a more specific fear you're dealing with. But a lot of the time, yes, fear gets in the way. And you just need to dispel the fear and realize there's upsides, and the downsides that you're thinking of are just totally living in your head. Okay. Can I use the same universal laws for something physical like martial arts? Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to remember, we live in a spiritual, mental, and physical realm. What you are able to physically do is going to be affected by your mind, right? By your mind. And if you value martial arts, you will automatically take the actions to get better at it, because martial arts is a physical realm thing. So it's going to involve exercise. It's going to involve training. It's going to involve doing certain things. But if mentally you have attached your values to it and you've been doing it for a long time, you'll automatically get better. Like you won't even really have to think about it if you actually care about it. If you're doing martial arts for somebody else, you're trying to impress someone else, or you're trying to live in someone else's values, this is going to be very difficult for you. I have a friend, young guy. He's probably 19, 20 years old now. And he went from bouncing around business to business to business. He was asking me what business he should get into. And then he got involved in some like plumbing and contractor stuff. And he did some high ticket sales for a little while, and he was bouncing around. And he just went to the fight gym one day. And he's like, I love this. I love it here. This is amazing. And he worked hard. He's trained with Alex Pereira, who is a UFC champion, right? He won his first couple fights because he values it. He goes to the gym every day. He wants to win. He's inspired because it's in his value. So get my value finder. Link is in the description below if you don't know that. All right. Better perception on getting clients or feeling confident acquiring paying clients. Better perception on getting clients. Well, can you not like, there's two parts to that. one is clients seeing you. So do you have problems with people finding you, or do you have problems with closing people? Like, do you have problems with selling to people? Because there's two different aspects to that. In terms of getting people, I mean, there's different ways to go about it. First of all, you're usually going to have to get over fear. You're usually going to have to get over people perceiving you a particular way online, especially if you're going to make organic content like me, and you're going to have to be okay with it taking a short period of time or taking a long period of time. You have to be okay with either way. You got to be okay with putting your thoughts into the world. You got to be okay with sharing what you can actually do with people, and don't be afraid to give away the game. I give away so much game on my YouTube channel. If people watch every single one of my YouTube videos, they'll change their life. Even if they watch one or two and they actually implement it, they will change their lives, right? Don't be afraid to give away the game, because there are people who are going to want your help regardless, because sometimes it's just too much information. So actually getting seen by people, you can reach out to people you already know, like the Hormozi strategy. This is business stuff, guys. This is like business. So you can reach out to people you already know, which is warm traffic. You can reach out to people you don't know, which is cold traffic, DMing people. You can use paid advertisement, paid ads, Meta ads, Google ads, or you can do organic content. I think organic is which is like what I do, YouTube, etc. I think organic is probably the best, because you just develop a level of trust with people and you provided so much value. And I don't know, I'm not sure what you're involved in, but Alex Hormozi, who's a giant business creator, just did a huge launch and made over $100 million in a weekend, because he's given so much value organically and he's helped so much people for free. And when you help people for free, remember, you're coming from a state of abundance. I have enough to give that I know it'll come back to me in clients, right? In terms of clients. So there's that. And then confident acquiring paying clients. That has to do with your worthiness. And a lot of the time you're going to need evidence for that. Have you gotten results for people? What sort of results have you gotten for people? Right? What sort of results have you gotten for people? When I started the Next Realm program, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to show up appropriately in the world if I didn't get some results. So when I first opened the Next Realm, which is a group program where I teach people universal laws to help them earn more money. And when I first opened it, the first couple spots were free because I needed to get results, right? And then I got some results for people, and not until I got results for people did I attack YouTube seriously. So the more results you get for people, the more confident you're going to be in knowing you can help them. I'm not one of these people where it's like, yo, you have knowledge to give and you can sell it, and you just try and finesse people and charge exorbitant amounts of money when you have never assisted anybody to do anything. That will pendulum swing back, and people call you a scammer, and people call they'll tarnish your reputation, all this type of stuff. So get some results for people. You'll build your confidence because you will have evidence for it. Your mind will have evidence for it. You will perceive that you can do it, and then it'll be easier for you to get clients to pay. I have a $3,000 one-on-one offer, right? 3 to 5, depending on what people are doing. I have zero problem charging that money. Zero problem. I've charged more money in my life, right? I have zero problem charging that money. Why? Because I've helped people make more than that. And I myself have spent more than that on offers. That's another thing. This is a very interesting thing. I usually teach people to be incredibly financially responsible, and it's something I teach with my clients. A certain system of financial responsibility and managing their money. But usually people find it very difficult to buy something at a particular price if they haven't already spent that money themselves. So if you want to charge $10,000 to somebody, it would help you if you bought something for $10,000 in the past, because you understand what that value exchange is like, right? Now, that's not me telling you to go blow off all your money. I'm just saying, usually there's a mental ceiling if you haven't spent that sort of money. So all the coaching I paid for in my life, I paid over $300,000 worth of coaching in the past 4 years. In the past 4 years, yeah, I paid over $300,000 worth of coaching. I can sell things for 5 figures because I've spent it, you know? So that helps too. But get results, man. Get results. I think showing my results more from an abundant place will help with clients. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Show what you can do. People need proof, guys. In this day and age, people need proof. Because there's been so many charlatans. I want you guys to understand something. The universe is constantly moving to enlightenment and simplicity. So the people who have the proof and the people who are actually able to demonstrate their light in the world are the ones who are going to make it. Look at what Hormozi did. All Hormozi did was massive levels of proof. He made $100 million in a weekend because he had massive amounts of proof. So get some results for people. I'm pretty sure some of you guys watch Nero Knowledge, right? I asked Nero, I said, how did you get to a point where you could charge $25,000 per client? And he said, well, at first I charged $1,000 for like 6 weeks or 8 weeks of his time. He's like, I charged $1,000, but then I got more results and I started charging $3,000. Then I got more results and started charging $5,000. I think $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, right? Because he was confident in what he would be able to do for people. Help people out. It pays. Okay. What are your thoughts on spiritual medicine? All medicine is spiritual. All medicine begins in the mind. All medicine begins in the mind and the spirit. And a lot of the times you can assist certain ailments through your mind, through mentality. For instance, like I said, depression with my mother, all I did was shift her perceptions and shifted this depressive state. My mentor, John DeMartini, talks about this. He's assisted people with diabetes. He's assisted people with dementia, all this type of stuff, because it relates to charges in the mind. And that connects spiritually and it imports down into your life physically, right? Like diabetes, for instance, the people who have diabetes tend to have, it's funny. The people who have diabetes tend to like not listen to people, and they tend to be people who are resentful towards their past, and you'll notice they hold grudges a lot of the times. It's not 100% of the time, but a lot of the time they do. And the people who are low blood sugar, hypoglycemic, they tend to be people pleasers. People pleasers. Right? Oh, everybody else besides me. Take care of everyone else besides me. So the diabetic person, the person with the sweet blood, is a bitter person, and the person with the bitter blood is a sweet person. Right? So you got to balance these perceptions in the mind. Whatever resentments you have in the past are contributing to your sickness, you know? So I think all medicine has a spiritual component to it. We will not fix the physical ailments unless we fix the mental ailments first. All right. So if you have a particular ailment, let's say someone has diabetes once again, because I got family with diabetes and stuff. Let's say someone has diabetes. They mentally must change to manage it well, right? Are you mentally able to change what you eat? If you're not mentally able to do that and you see the way that you're currently eating as serving you, then you won't change. As I said before in the presentation, if it's serving you and you think there's more benefits than drawbacks to changing your diet, you won't change your diet. So, mental affecting your physical. Diabetes involves exercise to manage it. Are you going to exercise? Your mind needs to change in order for you to exercise. If your mind doesn't change, you won't exercise. You see more benefits than drawbacks to not exercising, so you stay the same. All healing has a spiritual and mental element that affects the physical. That's not me completely dismissing physical forms of medicine, herbs, medications, etc. I'm not completely dismissing it, but we can't forget the mental element, because then all we're doing is putting band-aids on stuff and letting them fester, and eventually at the end of the day people still get the result they get, and they get problematic outcomes. Feel the fear and do it anyways. It will eventually remove the fear. Yes, you can brute force it. I actually suggest that to some people. It depends on their personality type, right? There are some people who will just brute force things, and you don't need to tell them all this mental stuff, because their mindset is already set to brute force things. And those people get results. In the long term, those people always get results because they're taking action in the physical realm, and eventually those physical causes will have effects. So you can just do it, because most of the time, what you fear, it never happens. It's not real. It only lives in the mind. You have punished yourself 1,000 times for things that haven't happened. Do you class Ken Hill as a native Canadian? I'm not sure who that is. So I'm not sure. That launch was crazy. Yeah, the Hormozi launch was absolutely insane. $100 million in a weekend. Absolutely insane. I think so. Yep. So you go. I don't need to tell you, but you definitely will get there. The aura and knowledge is there. There you go. You can think of a lot of people who fall into that explanation. Yep. Will you keep this live up on your channel? Yes, I will. It'll probably be live in 2 days because of some YouTube algorithm stuff. I'll tell you guys this, for you guys who are on YouTube, schedule your videos. I just learned this. Schedule your videos and make sure they don't come out until 24 to 48 hours after, because it takes 24 to 48 hours for YouTube to actually read through your whole video and kind of like transcribe it to know what it's about. And then when it knows what it's about, it pushes it out to more people. So my first video to go like decently viral on my channel, it was scheduled like a week ahead. And at first, the first 2 days, it didn't really get views, and then boom, it like popped off 10, 20, 30K. So do that. Yep, I will keep this live up. Okay, any more questions? Any more questions? It is 3 minutes to 8. Do you consider yourself a superior dominant black master? Can I see your socks on your feet? But what is that? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. So superior dominant, but I don't know, man. I don't know what that means. So I have mastery in certain things, and I aim to master things in my life in general, no matter what the color of my skin is. I think mastery is highly important. People who practice mastery rule their existence. You know, they rule their existence. You'll always hear me talk about the masses and the masters. Few masters, many masses. Right? So, like, that was a weird. Can I see your socks? Are you trying to buy my socks? You might know the industry I originally made money from. So I get strange. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, you always hear me talk about the masses and the masters. There's few masters, many masses. The people who master their mind master their reality. And you'll notice the people who have mastered their minds are not very polarized. They're not very swung up. They're more chill, more calm. Like the roller, do you like having sex with people who worship your feet? Obey? No, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I would say in relationship, here's the thing about relationships, guys. This is a relationship thing. There will be times where dominance occurs and submissiveness occurs in a homeostatic balance, right? Homeostatic balance. So let's say there's a couple that has a dom-sub relationship, right? A dom-sub relationship. And a lot of people might think, okay, this dominating person is dominating this individual and they're being submissive. But there are times where the submissive has a level of dominance over the dominant, because if the submissive says no, right, now the dominant loses a level of control. So there's a homeostatic balance. So in my relationship, I would say I'm more so very much a leader type, very much get things done, dominant in my relationship, but and my wife is rather submissive, but there are elements and times where she's less submissive when when she's dealing with the things she values, right? Totally off topic, but when is baby due? Supposed to be in October, but I think she's gonna come earlier than that. I think she's gonna end up being a Virgo like me. But yeah, she's supposed to come October around Libra time. But I do think she's gonna pop out a little earlier. Oh, I just told you guys what I'm having. Yeah, I'm having a girl. So yeah. Any other questions? Say how do I, yeah, she's pregnancy's attacking her, so she chills most of the day. She goes for walks, you know, she takes it easy. She draws, all that type of stuff. She does some creative things. Sends me videos about baby stuff, you know. So that's why she hasn't been on the videos for a while, because it's actually kind of a lot for her to like think and sit there and keep up with me, and she's breathing heavy. So that's why she's kind of, you know, thank you guys. Thank you. So that's going to be a total different change to things. So hopefully I'm not on one of these lives one day and she just goes into labor and then I'm like, oh, guys, gotta go. You know? Yeah. Any other questions, y'all? I wish the stream was more in time, you know? Like where you guys typed in the stuff would pop up instantly. But any other questions, let me know. You know, anything about reality creations, metaphysics, esoteric things, money, earning. Thank you guys. Thank you. Because I can sit here and chat for days, but I'd rather answer your guys' questions. Who is Ken Hill, Queen Bee? Oh, no, it wasn't you who said that. It was RTP Lay. Who is that? I don't know who that is. Who's... Director. Okay. Take that in after. How do you deal with blockages? File discussion is a major part of it all. Yes. How do you winter shoe size and you're wearing dress socks now? Yo. How do you deal with blockages? Well, it depends on what they are. What I noticed, guys, is the biggest, I wouldn't say the biggest, but one of the most major things that gets in people's way is a lack of clarity. Total lack of clarity. So people say blockages. What's blocking me? Well, you have to know what it is you're exactly trying to get, right? What is it that you're trying to obtain? How often do you go live? I'm going to be doing this at least once a week, particularly on Thursdays, unless my wife goes into labor on a Thursday, and then I won't be live. But yeah, it's going to be every Thursday around 7 p.m. But back to blockages, and I think I answered Queen Bee about this. You need to be specific about what it is you're aiming for, and then determine what specific action that you're trying to take that you're not taking. Right? So you just be like blockages. Okay, you want to earn more money, let's say. Well, I'm blocked from earning more money. But how are you trying to earn more money? You know, what is it that you would like to do to earn money? For instance, start with that question. And then work your way down from there and chunk down what is required to get what you desire. I have a very practical way in terms of dealing with manifestation. What you guys got to understand, right, is the people who master their reality, the people who are top of the top 1%, top 0.01%, a lot of them do not believe in manifestation in the way we do, but they manifest every day. Manifestation is moving what is in your mind into physical reality. So if I asked you to draw a stick figure, you would first see the stick figure in your mind, and then you would draw the stick figure. That is manifestation. If you see something in your, and you're going to have a process for doing that. You're going to pick up a pencil, you're going to draw the head, you're going to draw the stick. You're going to have a process to do that. Now, when it comes to something different, like money, which is usually what people want to import into their life, you got to determine, how would you like to earn money? And then determine the process necessary to make it happen. And then just do it, and it'll pop up. You might see stories of people who randomly imported money into their life, but I like to teach you what works and not what's rare. Because this is another thing about manifestation. You can connect with the frequency, connect with the feelings of what it is you desire, import it into your subconscious and get it. The problem is that version of manifestation is emotional based. It's amygdala based, which is the part of your mind. There's two of them, amygdalae, that are focused on predator and prey, fear and fantasy, right? Pride and shame. This is what the amygdala is focused on. It's a polarized vector. And the amygdala takes your memory, because it's near the hippocampus, it takes your memory and determines what's good and bad in your life. Your subconscious is built from your memory and your amygdala. It creates your subconscious. The subconscious is simply a store of valency. Valency means negative or positively charged things. All right, there's some science for y'all. Pay attention. Your subconscious determines your decisions. Remember, I said you will not make a decision without seeing more benefits than drawbacks. Your subconscious is holding what it thinks is more beneficial and less beneficial. So when you do what most of the manifestation is online, when you do amygdala-based manifestation, you do it with a polarized vector. So you see the positivity of whatever it is you're getting. You use your emotions. It can import into your life. It can. The problem is a lot of people who do that lose it. Because whatever you got from polarity, you lose from polarity. Which is why I talk so much about being measured. Whatever you got from a polarized state, you will lose from a polarized state. So let's say you get into a relationship. You have a fantasy about this person. Everything is amazing about them. Oh my goodness, you're so elated. Incredibly polarized. But what causes you to break up? Another polarized emotion. They pissed you off in some particular way, or they cheated, or they made you really sad about things, whatever it is. Another polarized emotion is what makes you lose them. When you're able to balance your perceptions and see they have benefits and they have drawbacks, you can have an actual relationship. Right? What? So I don't know why this guy said that. How do I ban people off of this? He's in timeout. Because that type of stuff will get people kick off stream. Okay. Anyways, so you need to have a balanced relationship, right? Then the reason why you lose what you get from a polarized state is because of the law of rhythm. What goes up must come down. So whatever you get from elation, you will lose through depression. Which is why, if you want to bring something into your life, you got to determine what it is and then the process and steps you can take to get it. And then you just do those things. You just take those actions. As long as you do what's in your values, you'll get it. If you're not doing what's in your values, you won't get it. Anyways, other questions? How often do you go live? Yep. I like how you introduced me to that part of the puzzle. Yep. Values, blockages. So yeah, break it down in terms of blockages. So basically have a specific plan and be neutral about what you want. Yes, I did a lot of speaking and a lot of explanation, and you are learning. You simplified it. Just have a specific plan and be neutral about it. Whether it works today or it doesn't work today, you're fine. Whether you make a whole bunch of money today or you don't make a whole bunch of money today, you're fine. Because reality will try to rock you. It will try to see if it can control you and keep you where you are. Because particularly most of the time, the mind frequency doesn't want to change. It's frequent. Things that are frequent are difficult to change, right? If you develop a habit of something, it gets tricky to change it, right? Your frequency is trying to stay alive. But if you're neutral, can't rock you. It's like people who are bullies. If a bully doesn't get the reaction it wants out of you, if they want out of you, then they're gone. They'll leave, right? I was vibrating so high, I left my phone down for a second, missed the bad comment. That makes sense, because when you have something for so long, you become neutral about it. Yes. Yep. And what you're actually grateful for, you're neutral on. You're neutral on it if you're actually grateful for it. Hide him if he or any other rudeness pops up, and it will block them from your chat, or assign a moderator. Catch the nonsense and keep it. Yeah, I got to get a moderator, I got to get a moderator, because I don't know if the chat comes to me before you guys. But yeah, I have a friend of mine who was like, yeah, man, you're going to need a moderator if you continually do this. But yeah, neutral is the way. If you guys read a whole bunch of spiritual teachings, if you really break them down, because I've read a whole bunch of stuff, right? I got the Kabbalion there. My grandmother she tested every religion. Okay. My mother started as Christian. My grandmother started as Christian. Then she was Muslim for a long time. Then she took aspects of Hinduism and merged it with her Islam practice, some aspects of Buddhism and merged it with her practice, and then New Age spirituality, right? Think and Grow Rich, etc. So I was exposed to a lot of these things. My grandmother was into it heavily. And most of these spiritual teachings, when you really break them down, is about having a neutral, enlightened state, not being able to be swayed. In the Bible, it says, straight is the way and narrow is the gate that leadeth to heaven. Straight is the way and narrow is the gate. Neutral, like a line. Straight is the way and narrow is the gate. When you're polarized, you're swung up. It's big swings. It's not narrow and straight, right? Buddha. The first teaching of the Buddha is the middle way, the way between the polarized states, between the fantasy and the fear, between the shame and the pride. Boom. Yes, I'm going to get to that. What are three? Someone said, doesn't that counteract the whole you need emotions to manifest idea? Yes. I'll talk about the two types of reality creation, which is something I have taught my next realm people the other day, actually, because a lot of this was coming up. There is two aspects of manifestation. One is what the masses do. The other is what the masters do. I'm going to get to that. What are three of my favorite books? Three of my favorite books would be the Kabbalion, which basically explains how the universe operates. The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, which is, you can look at it as a relationship book and a seduction book, but I would look at it as a sales book, because sales is seduction. And third, The Alchemist. I think The Alchemist is a good book, because if you read The Alchemist, I won't ruin it for you. Have y'all read The Alchemist? Who hasn't read The Alchemist? Because I don't want to ruin it, because basically what The Alchemist, though, demonstrates what I demonstrated in the lecture. You already have what you're looking for, So The Alchemist is good. All right, so Chiron, I think your name is. So doesn't that counteract the whole you need emotions to manifest idea? Yes. Remember, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And we live in a polarized world. So why wouldn't there be two ways of manifesting? Why wouldn't there be two? The first is emotional, amygdala based, activating your subconscious. The other, which I teach, is prefrontal cortex based, not amygdala based. Amygdala is mammalian brain, survival brain. Prefrontal cortex is enlightened brain, strategic thinking, execute, plan, go. And the people who are masters of this current reality, you will notice something about them. They are prefrontal cortex driven. They do what they do and do what they're supposed to do despite how they feel. Warren Buffett said, if you can't manage your emotions, you can't manage money. Warren Buffett is one of the greatest investors of all time. If you can't manage your emotions, you can't manage money. He's centered. If you look at the stock market in terms of investment and earning money, the people who have just bought the market despite the ups and the downs are the people who have won because they're not swung up. The people at the peak of the game don't rely on their emotions. The only emotional component is their values. That's where the emotions come in. What do you value? Do you value business? Do you value teaching? Do you value relationships? Do you value wealth creation? Do you value mental health? Whatever it is you value. Some people value beauty. Some people are like, oh, how do you turn beauty into money? Well, ask the women who have valued beauty, made themselves beautiful, and married billionaires. Ask them, or have been able to get brand deals on Instagram or whatever because they value beauty. Whatever you value can be turned into money. And that's where the emotional component comes from. If you don't value something, your emotions towards it are just going to be trash and you're never going to move. If you value something, despite how you feel, you will do it. And that is what's required to win. That is how you manifest things. For sure. Right? For sure. I want you guys to understand something. Once again, the masses and the masters. Okay? My mentor, John Demartini, who I shout out all the time. I don't gatekeep where I learn things from, except that hypnotist guy because he doesn't want no one to know who he is. But Dr. John Demartini himself, he goes, I'm not as popular as these other guys. Because the other people, a lot of the time, are selling the opium of the masses, which is all benefit with no drawback. He goes, what I do might not sell a whole bunch, but it serves because it works. It actually works. What did I tell you guys? I want you to do what works, not what's rare. If you buy into the opium of the masses, what happens when you take opium? You have an elating high and a crashing low. What happens when you take heroin? You have an elating high and a crashing low. And it's the most addictive drug. You get swung up forever. Swung. You're on this emotional swing constantly. But I want you to watch the people who teach you manifestation content with their emotions. That teach you manifestation content and tell you to use your emotions, and ask yourself if they're doing what they know they need to do despite how they feel. Are they putting out a YouTube video every week? Are they putting out 2 YouTube videos a week? Are they putting out content regularly despite how they feel? Not every day they want to put it out. Not every day. But they know what's required to win. So they're using a particular method and telling you another method. Guys, in my channel, I'm the no-nonsense esoteric guy. Anyone I've met over 100 millionaires now. Over 100 millionaires. They all believe in a form of frequency. They all believe in forms of aura, energy, etc. But they take practical steps to get what they want despite how they feel. And it's hard for people. It's hard for people to do this a lot of the time. But it's only because they're not doing what they care about. They're not doing what they value. If you do what you value, it doesn't matter how you feel. You'll get it done. You think Warren Buffett didn't want to sell sometimes when the market was crashing? No, he bought instead. Despite his amygdala going, we're in trouble, we're in trouble, we're in trouble, we're in trouble. Remember, I told you your fears rarely happen. You have punished yourself 1,000 times for things that have not happened. And I'm not saying this as someone who's on some high and mighty thing that I don't deal with these sorts of things. I do. I have emotions too. I have fears. I have fantasies. I have shames. I have prides. Right? I didn't want to get on YouTube for various reasons, things that had to do with shame and fear. I didn't want to get on YouTube. Right? But I was able to break through those. And I'm here. And I get to help and I get to share light in the world. So if you really want to win, if you want to be a master of your reality, use your prefrontal cortex. Right? Use your prefrontal cortex instead of relying on your amygdala. So values are tied into your emotions, which helps you stay disciplined. In a sense, yes. Yes. If you value it, you'll do it. Good point. You show up through whatever feeling for what you actually care about. Yes. Look at all the people who have children, right? How if any of you have children in this chat right now, people have children, right? There are things that you don't like to do in terms of your children, taking care of your children, but you still do it because you value raising your children more than what you feel. Therefore, you manifest an existence where your children are still alive, where your children get good things, where your children get to go to school, where your children have clothes on their back. Because despite how you feel, you have manifested a reality that allows you to take care of your children because you value your children. Your values are very important, and there's not a lot of study about this. But if you don't know what you care about, you will be going through the world blind. And other people will import their values to you. Do you understand? If you don't know what you want out of life, if you don't know what you care about, someone else will give you something to care about. Your employer or people on the internet or some polarized thing on social media, they'll give you a purpose and it won't be your purpose. You understand? So that's what I teach. If I was to teach all the emotional stuff, I'd probably be way more popular. But I want to do what works. What's the sense of me teaching 500,000 people things that don't work for them? I'm not like that. So me even saying that is a pride vector, probably something I need to dispel. But that's what I think. You do what needs to be done regardless. Yes. Do what needs to be done regardless. Do it. As long as you value it, you do it. As long as you value it, you will do it. When you're doing things you don't value, then you just get resentful and you can't go for the long haul. You can't go for the long haul. If you can't see yourself doing something for a long period of time and having a level of mastery in the world, if you're doing something, that is completely off kilter from your values, you'll have a difficult time in life and you'll be emotionally swung up. It's not a good time, and I talk about this with people and they think I don't have any emotions. It's entirely untrue. I originally come from the music industry. I'm an artist at heart. Artists win because of their emotions, right? So I alchemized a lot of emotions, but now I just alchemize them differently. If I feel a particular way, I'll just use it to move towards my purpose. I might be upset at something. I'll use that energy and I'll go to the gym and I'll have a great workout. Or I might be sad about something and I'll just be like, well, let me use this energy and create something of value in the world, make a YouTube video where I teach people something and get closer to what I want out of life. The great thing about emotions for people, because I'm not anti-emotion, not 100% anti-emotion. I'm anti-making decisions with your emotions. The great thing about emotions is that they're infinite energy. The fact that we have emotions can be used as fuel. Whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whether you're angry, whether you're excited, it's all energy if you choose to perceive it like that. Yep. Any more questions? Jesus, almost 8:30. Whatever. That makes sense. Yep. Any other questions? As I said, every Thursday this will be happening at 7 p.m. unless my wife is in labor on a Thursday. Then it won't be happening. But any other questions? If not, I will be hopping off. And I know the stream's a little delayed, so I will wait 2 more minutes. If not, I'm going to get going and probably work on some other YouTube videos. This will be uploaded within 2 days. If you guys want the slides, okay? If you guys want the slides, I'm not sure if you can see the description of this video, but join my Telegram channel. If you join my Telegram channel, I will upload the slides as a PDF to that Telegram channel. If you want a recap of like the statements and questions and the money perceptions and stuff like that, join the Telegram channel. It'll be there. But if there's no more questions, I will get rolling. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So join the Telegram. I'll see y'all next week. Later days. Oh, whoa. Another question. Always happens when I say bye. Always happens. It's like a trigger. Sorry. How would prefrontal cortex manifesting work with dealing with people? What do you mean by that? Dealing with people? There's many ways to deal with people. Like your prefrontal cortex is actually the social element of your brain, because a social interaction requires prefrontal cortex thinking. You have to listen. You have to strategize what you're going to say to people, right? So the prefrontal cortex is already in action when you're dealing with people. You know, you got to think about not saying something stupid, whatever, right? So it's already working. Like manifesting people in your life. Okay, that's a different story. It depends. You have to be very careful with this. Trying to manifest a specific person for a relationship in your life leads to problematic outcomes, because that's a polarized vector. The swing of rhythm will hurt you down the road. It will hurt you down the road. But if you want to manifest in your life, let's say a particular mentor or a particular person that you're looking to work with or this type of thing, you have to depedestalize them. You have to depedestalize them. So it's a long process. Well, not long process, but it's a process. You got to take them off of a pedestal where you think they're better than you, and you have fantasies about them in some particular thing. You admire traits about them that you don't see in yourself, because you have every single trait you have. But you have pedestalized someone in your mind. So let's say you see someone on the internet who has a lot of money, for instance, and you're like, oh, wow, they're so great. Their life is so awesome. Or let's say they're really intelligent. Oh, my goodness, they're so smart. They're smarter than me, blah, 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 blah. You need to look at your life and see instances where you have their qualities. So you can't just look at, okay, they have money. You have to look at what qualities do they have in their life that allow them to get money. So are they disciplined? You might say, oh, no, I'm not disciplined like that. Them. You are. You are disciplined like them. It's just not in the same realm that they're disciplined in. So let's say they're disciplined in sales. You might be disciplined in fitness. Same level of discipline. You just have to find where you have that quality present. Let's say they are, another quality is they're social. Let's say they're social, they're good at networking with people. You have that quality as well. It's just somewhere else in your life. They might be good at networking with business people. You might be good at networking with people at the gym. Right? Once you start to do this and you start seeing you have the same qualities as them, you start to depedestalize them. And what happens is a level of quantum entanglement that can bring them into your life. And me, as someone who comes from the music industry as a sound engineer, I've worked with many celebrities. And the only celebrities I worked with were people I didn't pedestalize. Right? People I didn't pedestalize. So like, I've worked with Big Sean, I've worked with Snoop Dogg, I've worked with Party Next Door, I've worked with Tory Lanez. Who else? I'm trying to skim through my head now and try to remember. Pressa, who's a big artist from Toronto. When Chance the Rapper was popping when he came out with that 3 album, the one that sounded really gospel-y, and he was like everywhere, I had the chance to work with him, and I was asleep through the phone call. Like, I was sleeping, they called me to work with Chance the Rapper, and I didn't pick up the phone. Like, because I didn't see these people as better than me. right? But someone like I don't know, like a Jay-Z maybe would have been hard. Like if I didn't de-pedestalize Jay-Z, like in my head, Jay-Z has pedestalization, right? Of like being a billionaire and blah blah blah, business mogul, etc. I would never link up with Jay-Z currently, right? Unless I de-pedestalize him. But I don't care to do that. I don't really business to meet Jay-Z, you know? But you you got to depedestalize people, and quantum entanglement occurs and you bring them into your life. I made a video about this, about quantum entanglement. Check it out. Because the problem with pedestalization is that the people you pedestalize pity you. They pity you. And no one wants to develop a relationship with someone they pity. If you see somebody on the road who's, you know, maybe in a homeless position or whatever, and you give them money, and you might pity them. You might not, most people aren't looking to build a relationship with that person, right? They're just giving them some money because they pity them, because they have a guilt charge, and they pity them and they give them some money and they go about their business. But they're not trying to develop a relationship with that person. So as long as you pedestalize somebody, you'll never meet them. See the good and bad in everyone and everything. Yep, because everyone has benefits and drawbacks. Build no fantasy of anyone. Worship no one. Do not build idols of people. The Bible has over 200 instances of idol worship, talking about not worshiping idols. And it's not about statues and pendants. It's about people. Do not idolize people. They are just like you. They have traits that you have. People look at these tech billionaires and they worship them, bro. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. People worship these individuals. You know what I'm saying? When they don't seem to realize that they're just people with specific traits that you also have. If you'd only realize it. And then you depedestalize them and then you don't care and you go about your business. So the fact that when people ask me this question, how do I manifest someone, a particular person in my life? I already know they've pedestalized them. I already know they pedestalize them because it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. You know? So we just work on dispelling that pedestalization. Then they have more clarity. They get more enlightenment. They get less charge. And they're freer to do what they want with their life. And sometimes, a lot of the time, they bump into the people that they depedestalized. Any other questions? That question arrived at the right time. I guess so. I guess so. Whatever anybody needed to hear, they heard. But yeah, the depedestalizing people is very interesting. You know, it's very interesting because I look at life in 7 vectors, right? You got spirituality, which is basically living through your values and your ability to change your reality, right? How quickly can you make it happen? Your mentality, your physical health, your relationships, your income, your wealth. Income is different than wealth. Income is your ability to import money. Wealth is your ability to continue living a lifestyle without having income. Wealth and influence, right? So 7 vectors. So I'll look at people at 7 vectors of life, and I'll look at who do I admire in terms of wealth. This is a DeMartini thing, right? Who do I admire in terms of wealth? Okay, Warren Buffett, John D. Rockefeller, some of them, right? And I will research where they had shortcomings. I will research where they missed the ball. So like, for instance, Warren Buffett missed the ball on Google because he doesn't invest in tech, or he didn't really like to invest in tech. So he missed the ball on Google and I think Amazon, right? Rockefeller, as fantastic as the Rockefeller empire was, and their family will never be able to go broke. Rockefeller got, attacked with monopoly practices, and he kind of stringently controlled the future of his family, where some people in his family probably aren't all that fulfilled. because he stringently controlled it and developed a system where they could never go broke, but they also like lack purpose at times. So I will go look at people in these vectors of life, and I will learn about them, and I'll depedestalize them, and I'll notice where those qualities are within me. And then you don't even worry about bringing them into your life. Yep. Right. I think in 10 minutes I'm going to hop off. So we got 10 more minutes of questions. If you missed the lecture, if you missed the masterclass, it'll be uploaded either tomorrow or the day after. If you want the slides, join the Telegram group. Link is in the description below for the Telegram group, right? Make sure you get that. And the value finder as well. If you don't know your values, get the value finder. Start getting some direction, some purpose within your life, some clarity. So you're able to break down exactly what it is you need to do. There's 21 people in here. At one point, I think there was 30 people in here. That's actually crazy. I didn't expect that. You know, some people might not think 30 people is a lot of people, but I have been a live performer in my life, and 30 people in a room is actually a significant amount of people. So that's great. Thank you, guys. Yep. 9 minutes. I think that's that, guys. I don't see any other questions coming in, so I think that might be it. Going once, going twice, and sold. All right, y'all. I'll see you next week. I'll be here Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I'm not able to do that because my wife goes into labor or something, I'll let y'all know. Is it true you only see traits in others that you possess, good and bad? You possess every trait. So you just don't see, you're only choosing to see certain traits. You're only choosing to see certain traits because you have a fantasy about it or a shame about it. So you're only choosing to see certain traits. People that you admire, you are failing to see their traits within you. People that you despise, you are failing to be humble enough to see what you despise about them within you as well. Because you have every trait. You're not missing anything. At the level of the soul, nothing is missing. 30 body count for any gender. Serious. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Join the Telegram group for the slides and later days. Appreciate